they did with Impending Doom, because they travel around a lot with non-Christian bands. I find that they have the other bands kind of respect them a lot, because their music's just as good and everything, and they actually stand for something. Do you find a little bit of that also?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's kind of like the same thing as like I don't know, if it's very social and a lot of people like drink usually, and you come into a crowd and you like no, I don't drink or something like that. Most people will be like, oh, good for you. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the same thing. You know what I mean? There are a lot of bands that are just bands. That's all they do, and they play music, and then they ask you about your band, and you'll be like, oh, we're a Christian band. We're kind of doing this for our own thing, and it's the same thing. You know what I mean? They're like, well, that's awesome. That's good. We don't do that.
Yeah,
but good for you guys.
There's a band
That's
on
cool.
this tour, Anti-Flag, that I have a lot of respect for that band, because they go up on stage and they have all these beliefs, whether it's about the government or about animal rights and stuff like that, and it's stuff that I 100% don't agree with. But the fact that they actually, they really stand for that, and you can tell when they go off stage that they still stand for that, and their personalities reflect that. I respect somebody like that, because
right.
they have their convictions and they stick to that, and that's who they are. And I think anybody that met us wouldn't say like we're jerks or anything like that. Like they would just, I like when I think of, I just say Under Oath because we're really good friends with those guys, and they're a big Christian band, but they're some of the nicest dudes. And I think that personality-wise, like I've heard a lot of people say about us that we're just nice guys, and I think that we are, just because of the fact that we are Christians. That can play into the personality aspect. So I think maybe even in Impending Doom, maybe that's what they were saying. It's like a lot of people, if they don't have a Christian background, they have no reason to be nice or humble or anything like that. But if you come from that, background, that you are nothing, and you should also treat everyone like your neighbor, like Jesus said and stuff. So you're going to be a nice person. So maybe that's what a lot of people play into. It's like, oh yeah, and they're really nice guys. They're Christian guys. They're, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm rambling.
It's all right.
But if you catch my drift, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I know we've done some really heavy tours where at the end of it, people have been like, I really respect you guys for sticking it out and still saying something every day, even if, you got flicked off and stuff thrown at you and whatever. Still stuck to what you are. And I think that's what, like I was saying, Anti-Flag, I can respect that band because no matter what, that's, who they are. Or if somebody was a straight edge band, those are their convictions and that's what they are. And you can respect that, what I mean? So I think a lot of people find that.
Now, do you find that you get criticized for going on tours like that from media or Christian media?
I've heard some. We've even had a few emails from some parents that are like, why would you bring this band on your tour when you're a Christian band? Why did you go on tour with a band like this when you're a Christian band? But I don't know. I think it's one of those things where, the church is awesome and it has its place and a very big place in the Christian faith and community and everything, and obviously that's really important. But I feel like, missionaries are people that go outside of the church and talk to people that don't come into the church of their own will. And I feel like we're the same way. Like, we go out of the church into this community of people that don't know much about it, so we talk about it. And for people that are in the church to criticize us, like, well, why would you go on tour with bands like that? Why would you do things like that? You're a Christian. It's like, yeah, we are, but none of these people are. And if we don't go on those tours, we only tour with, like, Skillet and, like, only other Christian bands. Not that there's anything wrong. They're a worship band, and that's great, and there's a need for that. But there's also a need for ministry bands that go outside of Christian community, outside of Christian kids and Christian bands, to people that have never heard about it. So
Didn't Jesus say, go out into all the world and preach the gospel?
The prostitutes and, and we're not even that bad. We're not hanging out with prostitutes and drug dealers and all these horrible people, but
they need it too.
Yeah, exactly. So we're even doing less than Jesus said. We should be playing shows in crack house or something.
With the success of your latest album, do you think you've made it? You're successful? Or
there's always
is there
another
more?
level. I mean, there's I don't even know if there's really a such thing as kind of made it yet. I guess
for now we can pay our bills.
I know that there's like, there's a point when you get your first record, and you're like, well, that's made it. You know what I mean? And then there's a point when your record
On the charts.
was on the charts, and you're like, dang, people really know who we are. You know what I mean?
Or if you're on the radio, or now
Yeah, I
on
mean,
Warped
like,
Tour. It's like every step is
I just remember like being a kid, and I used to go to like bands Warped Tour, and I would see a band on the main stage, and I would think that band has made it. You know what I mean? And now standing on main stage, I look at a band that is like Linkin Park or something like that, and I'm like, now that's made it. You know what I mean? But I'm sure the guys in Linkin Park are looking up to
we're not Coldplay.
you too, who knows?
Jay-Z.
Yeah,
Actually,
it's
I
there's
just
always-
checked, and you're all still in the top 200 with your album.
Yeah, I know. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. I don't even want to think about it.
Hey, Lord blesses, doesn't he?
It's true. He really does. But I try not to think about it. So I can
Just think of how
chill
many
a little
copies
bit.
of that's going out to people.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely
great.
awesome.
Well, I never even expected to make the band past,
album.
Past Dear Love. You
I
know what I
remember
mean?
when
So
we
anything
found
that
out we were getting a
happens
record
now is
contract,
just
we were like, what?
yeah.